Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US in Andover, Minnesota, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class here on Facebook. It is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Wednesday, April 22nd at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. And I'm very, very excited. I have another, after I get rid of my cough here, a little congestion. I have another card for you that is kind of the sign of the times kind of card. Anyways, it's featuring this little piggy stamp set. I got the idea from a card that I saw from Lorri Heiling. I'm going to show that to you. And I loved her card so much. Plus, there was a request to show a certain fun fold card. So I put the two ideas together to introduce to you the impressive W fold card. It's super easy. Hi Kathy, good morning to you. Happy Earth Day. Thanks for joining. So what do I want to tell you about it? I'm going to use the Ornate Designer Series paper, this little piggy stamp set, which is so fun and adorable. Stampin Blends Markers, some punches, and a little bit of humor. So let's move to the computer so that you can see the supplies that you will need in order to do this. Hang on just a second here, hitting some buttons. There we go. And sorry about the delay there. Okay, there we go. Those are the supplies that you're going to need for this safe and healthy W fold piggy card. I'm using, of course, that stamp set, the paper, some other cardstocks to go with it. The blends markers are listed here. Some punches. These are the punches. There's about 4 punches that I'll be using. Medium daisy, the leaf, and the classic label on the 1/2-inch circle. And then on this side, you can see that there's quite a few pieces that we're going to be cutting. So we're going to get started on that right away. But before we do, let me quickly show you. I think I have it set up already. Hopefully I do. There it is. So there's Lori's card. Is that adorable or what? So she's got the little piggy that's got the face mask on, and it said, "This little piggy stayed home." Super cute, right? So let me show you my version. So here's the stamp set, and the stamp set contains lots of cute images. Great for coloring in with the Stampin' Blends marker. We'll be using a couple of them. I've done some creative things with my wording, and I've also got a PDF or a Word document that I'll allow you to download from my blog on Saturday when I have that up. So you can actually use some of those extra words that I used on my card. Okay, here's the paper. Here is the set of papers that we'll be using. It's the Ornate Garden paper, and this paper is an early release paper. It's something that is, well, it was debuting in the new catalog that's coming out June 3rd, but they released it early, so you'll be able to get your hands on this now, and of course after the new catalog starts. I know, the stamp set's so cute, isn't it? This paper contains some daisies, and in the stamp set, I don't know if you caught that, but there is a little piggy holding a daisy. So that's why I'm integrating these together. And then we've got the flip side. Now I don't have full sheets of everything, which is why I'm showing you bits and pieces, but you can see there's a little bit of a foil accenting on 4 of these sheets here. So that, you know, makes it a specialty paper, makes it kind of fun. And then lots of flowers on this side. So let's start by taking our designer paper, and we're going to trim it. We're going to make a horizontal card. Yay, Cheryl, I'm glad you caught it live too. Thanks. We're going to make a horizontal card, which means we want our daisies to go upward. Now, on this paper, you really could go in either direction. It doesn't matter too much, but there are some where I feel like this one here, I feel like there's an up and down direction to it. Like this to me feels up, and this to me feels sideways. So you want to watch that when you're trimming. So we're going to go ahead and cut these pieces to the width first, which is going to be 5 1/4 inches. Now, if you're a newer stamper, a newer paper crafter, I welcome you. I try to give complete directions, and we also have lots of wonderful commenters while we're live that are helping, giving awesome little tips along the way too. So catch those comments if you're watching live with us. So 5¼ inches on the trimmer is here, plus that 1/4 inch. We're going to bring it right to that spot. We're going to use the dark blade. I like to keep my scoring blade marked with the word score, because that's the one I don't replace. I replace my cutting blades, but I don't replace my scoring blades. So if you just mark your scoring blade, you'll be able to keep track of which one is the one that will cut and which one is not. So now we're going to trim this way at 4 inches. So I've just brought it to the 4-inch mark. And this is going to be the front layer of our card. You'll notice on the flip side that it has a lighter shade of Old Olive that looks really beautiful. So we're going to cut a couple more pieces, and we want the Old Olive side to show on the inside of the card. I love this DSP too. DSP stands for Designer Series Paper, for those of you that are not remembering that lingo and are following along with us. So now I'm going to decide which one do I want on the front of my card. And because the image that I'm going to have on the front of my card is going to be off to the left somewhat, and I want daisies to show, I think I'm going to pick this one because I can see more daisies on the right side. So these two will go on the inside of my card, inside layers. And then I'll want a little bit of this too. So I think I'll just trim that right now to, and here I'm going to zoom in for you. Thank you, Thelma. I'm going to zoom in. Oops, touching the wrong screen. There we go. So you can see. I'm going to go to 1/4 inch and then slightly over. And that mark is 5/16 inch. And then we're going to trim this piece to 5/8 inch. So, and I think I want the pinker side. So I'm going to the 1/2 inch mark and then 2 little spots over. This is the 5/8 inch mark. Now when you put it there, you want to put it there carefully, and then you hold down the plastic part just firmly so that when you're cutting, it doesn't move on you. So now we have the little face mask for our piggy, and we have our other pieces cut for designer paper. I'm going to bring in the base piece now. Yes, coming in late is totally fine. Glad that you came, Claudette. Okay, we're going to cut this paper now in half. Oops, it's way too close to us now. There we go. We're going to cut it in half this way. So this is 11 inches, and this is 5.5. We're going to cut it at the 4 1/4, which is half of 8 1/2. And then we're going to rotate this. So this is our 11-inch direction, and we're going to cut parallel to the short side, or not cut, sorry, score parallel to the short side at 5.5 inches. Now I'm using the regular Whisper White on this card. I want to tell you that when you make a card like this, it turns out to be pretty thick. So you'll have to, of course, if you're going to send it through the mail, either put it in a protected envelope. For sure it's going to be more than the price of just a regular stamp. So just keep that in mind. There's lots of layers to this. So we're going to score through the middle at 5.5 inches. Grab our bone folder, give that a good crisp crease. That piece is ready. And now we're going to cut some smaller white. Okay? So we're going to come in here and we're going to cut to just before 3 inches. This is 2 7/8 inches. And I should zoom in so you can see that. All right, so there it is. 2 7/8 is right here. And we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 2 1/8 in this direction. And you'll notice that these two stack on top of each other perfectly. Because half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So then we have 2 pieces there, and we're going to do that same thing again. So 2 7/8 by 2 1/8. And now we have those layers. We're going to need to punch some daisies. So we're going to grab our daisy punch, and we're going to punch out 4 of these cute little flowers. They call this, I think they call this the medium daisy punch. At least that's what I put down in my supply list. But it looks small. Maybe they're going to come up with a smaller one someday. I don't know. So now I've got 4 daisies that are punched out. We're going to bring the bone folder in and do some fun stuff with that. And let me make sure if I'm looking on my supply list here. Got all those pieces. Oh, and the scrap for the printer. So let me show you that. Basically a sheet for the printer. Let me zoom out. So what I did, and you'll be able to access this, is I've got this sheet that you can just download enter into your computer, and then you put a sheet of either regular typing paper, which is white, or if your printer is like mine and it just kind of brings it in as a, like an angle. I don't know how to explain that on the camera. If it brings it in like an angle, you can put thicker stuff in there like the Whisper white cardstock. At least mine does. But regular white paper on the printer will work too. And then you can print this out and you can make a bunch of these cards and send them out to people. So we're gonna go ahead and punch out with our classic label punch, one of each of these, centering our sentiment each time. I'm so glad, it's so fun to see all these familiar names pop up. I love doing lives because I can see and converse with you. I'm not seeing any questions right now, so if I'm not replying to you coming on live with me, just know that I am seeing that you're saying hello. And I appreciate it. And I do read the comments afterwards, I promise. So we've got these pieces. We're going to go ahead and stick this piece, this flower, on top of another one because we want our daisy to become a little bit thicker, fuller. So we're going to do that here. We're just going to rotate it and layer these on top of each other like that. Do the same thing with this. And we're going to be using quite a lot of these glue dots on this project because I've found that glue dots give a little bit more lift than just regular snail adhesive. And so it's going to allow us to have a little bit of dimension without a lot. Dimensionals will really make the card super thick, and we don't want a super thick card. So, hi Karen. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes people say they have trouble searching for the live video. I don't have any answers for you guys on that. I think that there's like a notification setting that you can put on my page. I try to post a little reminder post that if you click on that, it's supposed to give you, I don't know, a notification also that I'm going live. But just remember, 11 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday mornings on my Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel page. Is that it? There we go. Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel. And if you are there right before 11, or if you are logging in right at 11, it might help to just constantly refresh that page because I think sometimes videos don't come up right away. Okay, we need a center for the flower. So now we'll grab our third punch that we're going to use, and we need, of course, we have two flowers. So this is our 1/2" circle punch. I always punch with my punches upside down because I can see where I'm punching. Oh gosh, this could have gone on with a glue dot too. Probably would be easier. Let's just put that on with a glue dot. So those are going to go in the center of each flower like this. Let's just burnish that, make sure they're pressed in really well. And we need our leaf punch. And our leaf punch we're going to use with Old Olive because Old Olive is a coordinating color that is in this set of designer papers. And I'm also using this darker green in there too. And I'm considering that Mossy Meadow. So that's why I said to bring out those Mossy Meadow pieces. Now all the Mossy Meadow pieces that I've cut, I've already pre-cut for you. But these pieces are 3 inches by 2 1/4, and you want to do 5 of these and 4 of these. Okay, so we have those ready to go. We're going to stick these on, just have our daisies completely done. There's my glue dots. So lift up, and we'll just stick them behind like that. One more. Okay, now it comes to the stamping. All right, for the stamping, we're going to grab our 4 sheets of Whisper White. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this too. We're also going to bring in our grid paper because we're going to be coloring with Blends Markers, and Blends Markers are alcohol-based markers, so they can leak through the paper, which is great. You want them to. You want them to be nice and juicy so that you can have that wet ink to kind of manipulate before it completely dries. So we're going to start with the Petal Pink light and dark colors. I've also got in here the dark Daffodil Delight, and I've got the light Old Olive. Okay, So let's stamp. Here are our piggies. What I've done with my stamps is, and you'll notice this if you own this stamp set, is I cut the words separate from the image. Probably didn't need to do that on this one, but on this one, I wanted to for sure because the loves you is right here. That was connected to this stamp and I just cut it out of there. I'll show you on the box what I mean. So, oh, I'm sorry. It's actually You Make Me Happy. That's what's next to it. So I took this one and I cut that off and I have that sitting inside my box as a separate stamp. So I can use it individually if I want to. And so this image came with that one too, and I just cut right through it. You want to cut carefully. It's pretty, there's not a lot of room on either side once you cut it off. Well, I mean on the top part. So we have to stamp a little carefully. So let's go ahead and stamp with our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And the Tuxedo Black ink Memento pad is the perfect ink for stamping with blends. You can use any water-based ink. You could use a classic ink in, like if you want to use the basic gray, or if you wanted to use early espresso, so you had more of a non-black outline, you could totally do that. We're gonna stamp this guy twice. And you could even stamp like in a lighter color too and color in with blends. A lot of people do that. They stamp in like a smoky slate or a pool party color, and then when they color in, you can't see the outline much anymore, so it gives a more realistic coloring in. Okay, we've got two little piggies. We need three of them, so one more. And I'm just pouncing up and down on my pad. I'm checking underneath too, because if I have any black that gets in the middle of this body and then I press the stamp too hard on my paper, I'll get a black smear on the inside. So you want to be careful not to do that. All right, so here we go. We're going to stamp this one. I have to check on all the sides. The bottom one, I had it crooked on one time when I said, hey, it's not crooked. Yay. All right, so that one worked. I did another one just earlier and I'm like, oh, that's so off. Did not look good. Okay, so here's my loves you. You'll notice that my stamps typically are crooked on my blocks too, because I don't want to rely on the edges of my stamp image, or I'm sorry, the edges of my block in order to stamp my stamp images. You can put labels on these stamps too. I'm so sorry. I'm just one of those fast people. I like to just stamp and get it done. And often I do not add those labels, but you can totally add labels to your stamps. And that's a whole other thing that I want to show you to do someday too, because there's lots of different ways to add your labels. The directions in the boxes, by the way, are easy to follow if you've never assembled and put together labels on your stamps. And that works. You just want to make sure you're doing it on a flat surface. Okay, then, oh, one more. We have to do this one. So this is the one that's a little bit tougher to stamp. I have to kind of rock it a little bit because I cut it so close. So this little piggy loves you. This little piggy, and you already saw what the, oh. Yeah, well, you know what? We're not using that one anyways. If I was off camera, I'd be just stamping that thing again because I don't have the stamparatus set up here. See, a little rocking. There we go. So that one works. And then you'll see how these are going to come in. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. And this little piggy loves you, wishing you health. So that's where those little pieces are going to go. But we're not going to glue them onto the two here because I've already got some that are pre-colored. But let me show you some coloring tips. Gotta save on time, right? All right, here we go. Oh, by the way, I can see some of you are talking about retiring products. So the retiring products list is going to debut this afternoon in about less than 3 hours. And so I will be on my Stamp Your Art, what's it called? Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel group. No, it's called Stamp Your Art Out group. Oh my gosh, there's too many groups. Stamp Your Art Out group. If you search that up and you're not a part of it yet, you'll want to do a request to join, and do it soon, because once I have to start getting ready for that live, I'm not going to be able to approve of everyone coming in. Approve your friends too, if you get friends that want to join. But I'm going to go through those lists, hopefully showing you some of the products as well. I'm going to work my butt off to try to pull some of those products off my shelf so I can show you some things. Maybe even find some samples if I can. So, but yeah, I'm going to go through and explain a couple things too. So right now I'm taking my blends marker. I've got my light petal pink, and I'm just doing kind of almost coloring in the whole thing with the light, but I'm going to leave some white spots as if there's shiny areas of the pig, you know, because it's a clean little piggy. So we're going to go ahead and add that light pink, and then with the darker pink we're going to do areas where we want shading. So the inside of the ears, kind of on the outline areas where it would be a little bit darker, like the shadows would be coming in there more so. Underneath the belly, on the legs. And I'm using the brush end of the marker. There's two ends to the marker, as you'll see soon, because I'm going to use the other end for my other two colors. But the brush end gives lots of full color at once. It's also it comes to a very fine point, so you can get in and do like little dots and stuff. But there we go. So that little piggy has been shaded in with no blending much yet. Okay, so you can see some distinct difference between the light and the dark petal pink colors. So now I'm going to come in one more time with my light color, and I'm going to do some swirling, some blending to get this piggy to be a little more, I don't know, smooth. So he's a smooth piggy now. All right, and then I forgot the tail and the snout. So let's go ahead and do that too. Keep your markers stored flat because you have two ends, like I said, and you want to make sure that the ink is staying even on both ends. You'll also want to, when you cap and uncap, be really careful to make sure the cap comes off straight and goes on straight, because you don't want to ruin the tips. Okay, so with the, here, we'll just move over to this one here. So with the other two colors, you'll want to use the pointed end or the bullet end, because then you can do more detailed coloring, I guess. And we're just going to come along the ground here and go like this. So those are the tips I have for coloring the piggy images. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to bring one more marker in, and this is our Stampin' Write Basic Black. I feel that you're going to get more controlled on a thinner line if you use this marker than if you were to use the Stampin' Blends Basic Black, because we have the blends for Basic Black, but again, it's the bullet tip and it's the brush tip, and to get a super, super fine line, it would be best to use one of the Stampin' Write markers. So now let's bring in our colored images that we already have done. And these, oops, and this guy here, these little strips here. And we're gonna start putting these together. You'll notice that the coloring did go through a little bit. That's why I have grid paper. This is our small grid paper, and it just protects your table. I didn't get any on here, so that's good. But if I did, it would protect my table. So let's assemble everything now. We're gonna layer our pigs. So that's how I colored that guy in. I didn't actually do him in front of you, but same sort of thing where I left white areas more exposed. And I also didn't show you the finished, how it blended together close up on that one. That was the one I just colored for you, and you can see it's a lot more blended than it was before. Okay, so how is everybody on this Wednesday on Earth Day? Are you planting trees? Are you recycling more? What are you doing on Earth Day? My boys are doing homework online. They're saving on paper. Email and website stuff. I mean, it's amazing how we've kind of reduced garbage that way, right? With the internet. I don't know. Have we? I don't know. I just sit in my own little la la land of stamping. I love crafting. I love sending cards and making gifts and stuff. And so sometimes I'm kind of unaware of what's going on in the world, but it's nice that way. It's peaceful. Yes, it's peaceful. Although now we're just reminding everybody what's going on in the world with this cute little card. But you're going to love it. And you're going to want to send it to everyone you know. Maybe even like the people who are quote unquote on the front line, you know, out there working in the markets and the stores and stuff. And of course, the healthcare workers, the scientists. Gosh, everybody who is out and about. Everyone who has to leave their house, right? Oops, that one goes on the other page. This little piggy stayed home. So this little piggy that stayed home, I decided we don't need to put a mask on that one. But this piggy that went to market, we do. And because I want a little lift on this, I'm going to use my glue dots again. And I want the mask to kind of come a little bit further out on the face. So instead of just one layer of glue dots, I am going to now put another one on top of the one I just did on each side. This little piggy went to market needs to be safe. So we're going to put that 5/16 by 5/8 of an inch piece. Obviously this piggy did make their own mask because it's out of beautiful fabric, or they had somebody make it for them. And we're just going to go from this corner up to this ear, and from this corner up to this ear. And of course you'd want to wear it over your ear, but that would be really high up on this piggy, so we're going to leave it like that and assume that the other part of the mask is wrapping around his neck. So there's that piggy. And then this last one just goes here like that. All right. Oh, we have another piece to cut on our card. Obviously, for a W fold card, I forgot one main piece, which is the W. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it from this because I needed a whisper white piece for it. It's going to be 1.5 inches. I would say 1.5 minimum. Don't do it too narrow or it's going to be more flimsy, but 1.5 inches to 2 inches for your strip height. And then we're going, and this is 11 inches wide. Okay, so it's the same width as your card base. Okay, these two pieces are the same. We're going to score it the same way in the middle. So at 5.5 inches, we'll put a score line. And then we're going to score each of these sections in half. So if you just then bring in each end to the 2 3/4 inch mark. So there's a score line, and there's a score line. Now you can form that W. There it is. Okay, you could also call it the M card, couldn't you? My gosh, I can't believe I forgot that piece. All right, so now that we've folded this, we're gonna go ahead and make sure the creases are nice and crisp. And oh, we're almost done with this. It's gonna be so fun. You could crank out a bunch of these, couldn't you? Hey, Kelly, how are ya? I think this is the one I was gonna do on the front, right? Yes, that's the one with all the daisies. So that one's gonna go on the front of the card. And these two are gonna go on the inside. I love that Lorri came up with that. Yes, a lot of you are saying, like LaDon just said, I love the piggy with the mask. It was so cute. So a lot of people saw that card and they're doing that to the cow set. They're doing it, well, I did it to, and I think it was after I saw Lori's card too. I did it to a paper pumpkin page layout with a bunny rabbit, the Easter bunny. So he was wearing a mask. So, you know, you got to keep the humor, right? This piece, by the way, you'll probably say, why did you not put any layer on there yet? Well, that's going to get one of the daisies. In fact, let's just do that right now so that we're not confused. And we'll do that with glue dots because it's easier to get glue dots on these guys. I'll just kind of go like that. There. Now we have that one done. And this is an extra daisy that will go on the front of the card. So the next step, now that we have the layers on our card base, we want to put the W in. And the W is going to fit right here, like this. You could make your W lower. You could make it higher. You know, so you can put it however you want as long as it's reaching end to end. So the trick I have for you is to put adhesive only on one side. And if you want a stronger adhesive, you could certainly use like the tear and tape adhesive, or you could use like the multi-purpose liquid glue. Okay, so we're gonna now take our W and we're gonna open it so that we have the end, one of the ends is facing to the outside front of the card. And we're just going to keep it closed and push it straight up to that side and stick it down. Okay, that's how I recommend doing it. Even if, and you'll see this here, because I did that on purpose. I was going to trim it up and I thought, no, I want to show that there's an unevenness to this. Can you see that there's this edge of the white doesn't go exactly to the edge of my card, and that's okay because when I fold it this way, this edge does. Now I could solve that problem by trimming this up a little bit, and I didn't do that. I wanted to show you how to deal with it. Okay. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead, because you know, sometimes it just happens. You're off by 1/16 of an inch. So now we go ahead and we put adhesive here, keep it closed down, and then flap the card shut onto itself, because it's more important for the card to be able to shut than for the card to be able to open up all the way. In fact, when you have a fold or a buckle or something like that in the middle of a card, you're not going to get that full flatness when it's opened up all the way. Can you see this? It's got a little bit of a thing in there, and that's okay. Maybe if I had trimmed up that side a little bit, it would have opened up a little flatter, but it does not want to, you don't need it to be perfect that way because it's a display card. It's a card that you're going to have on display. And yeah. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add these panels. This one's going to go on the front of the card along with that daisy. And these are going to get arranged. Well, we could do them a couple different ways. I think we'll do it this way. I don't know. I have it different on another card that I've finished, but I kind of want to show you that there's different ways to, oh, you know what? We could do it like this. We could do it there. We'll do it that way. Okay, so then you just take your adhesive, run it through the middle, and that's again another reason why you want to have a wide enough strip so you can just eyeball it. And you go between the edge of the card and this score line and center it. And then you want to kind of build your pieces going across. Otherwise, if you do the two ends and then trying to meet in the middle, you're going to have like maybe this one will be down lower, this one up higher. So now you can just kind of, you know, go by what you just did and make sure they're as even as possible. Height-wise, on the bottom and on the top, if that's making sense. Hopefully it is. And this piece will go next to this one here, like that. And then this last one will go here, like this. My boys are chatting up there. I said, be quiet because I'm going to go live, but they're having a conversation. So I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, now watch this. When we close the card, this is where the bulk is. It's right off to the right-hand side in that card. So my idea is stick this piece off to the left. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that with dimensionals. We're finally going to use the dimensionals that I listed in there. Put the daisy between the piggies. That's what I did. I love it. Ananda said, put the daisy between the piggies because of social distancing. That's funny. So I did that on the other sample that I have finished. So I guess I kind of wanted to show you the difference between the two. I wasn't thinking about that clever idea though. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so this is going to go off to the left just to kind of, you know, even out the bulk so that when you mail it, you've got some bulk here and you got some bulk here. And then for that reason, when we tuck this little guy underneath here too, we want to have our dimensional as far off to that side as possible. See how I kind of did it off center there? I didn't put it completely in the middle because we're going to shove that underneath there so that our flower is peeking out. Oh, I just noticed something. I want the leaves to show more, so I'm going to kind of angle it towards the pink more. There we go. So now I have bulk on this side and bulk on that side. It's just more even. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm weird like that. So here's that finished card. Ta-da! And here's another version. So I did it with different papers, so you can see same set of papers, just a different pattern, still with daisies in it. And then when you open it up, I have the green with the gold in there. Zoom out just a little bit so you can see them more. So the green with the gold foiling is in the background there. And yes, social distancing, have it down, right? So that is, in fact, you know what? We'll just go like this in case anybody's taking a screenshot, because I like that. I like that idea. So we'll do this too. There. I don't know if you noticed that too, but when I do like a screenshot for the video clip, I have usually an image of the end project. So we're just gonna smile for the camera. And hopefully we'll be able to find this clip. Anyways, do you love it, you guys? Is that fun? Next week, by the way, I have a birthday card that has nothing to do with COVID-19, but it's just a pretty card, and I can't wait to share that with you. I hope you got a kick out of this one. I hope this one brought you some humor. We do have prizes. Yes, you could also use the cows for sure. I do have some prizes to pick. In fact, the prize winners from last week, let's see if I have that document up here on the screen. We have prize winners from last week. Where did I put their names? We have to announce them. Oh, they get those spots. You get to pick out 6 spots. I'm so excited for you. Well, where did it go? That's so sad. Winners from the live. I'm trying to, oh, there it is. Okay, I pulled it up. It's working. Computer issues, right? All right, let's share. Oh, that's not it. There. Yay! I draw these right before I go live here. So those winners, Robin and Diana. Robin was on the YouTube list of commenters, and Diana was on the list of Facebook commenters. And I have to tell you something funny about this. Diana, her comment was that she loves spots. It was basically about spots. And I was looking on my messages today, and she actually messaged me about the spots too. She loves them so much. So I'm super happy for Diana. Yay for you. We have lots of colors to choose from. And so basically, I'll just have to refer to my last video, because I'm not gonna put them all out again. But here, now you can see what they look like. A box of them, plus I have like doubles, triples, quadruples of some of these. So those 2 winners get to pick out 6 spots. And then we have prizes for today. And today's winner, so I'm going to draw a prize winner from today's live. And then I'm going to draw 2 more winners next week after this is gone for a while. I am just not using this up. It's really strong adhesive. It's awesome. But I'm not using it up. It's a discontinued product from Stampin' Up, and I just am not using it. It's sitting there. I'm tending to use my tear and tape and current stuff. I don't pull out things that are retired. I don't know why I hung on to these. But it's a fast fuse cartridge and refill. So all 3 winners will get both of these items. And let's go onto the computer and draw for a winner for that. So before I bring you to the computer, though, I want to make sure I'm in the right spot. All right, so go ahead and leave your last comments so that you get a chance on this, right? Okay, hang on. We have to get rid of this, put this up. There we go. Okay, so let's click on videos. Now, once I've clicked on the link to the video, your comment is in. So if you haven't commented yet, do it right now. Tell me how you're doing, where you're from. Just say hello. Share the video. If you share the video, mention that you share it. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, by the way. A lot of you still post that you share the video, and I really appreciate that. So we're going to scroll to the current video. It's the Safe and Healthy Piggy W Fold. Here we go. Let's draw the link out of there and go into our random comment picker website. We're putting the link. Click search. Drum roll. And we had 202 of you comment today live with me. Thank you for joining. How many of you did that? Wow, a lot of you joined live. Yay. Who is the winner for today's live? Congratulations, Eve. Yay. Yay for you. Congratulations, Eve Vander Ploeg. Did I say it right? I hope so. So, all right, let's go back to me. So congrats, Eve. You get the Fast Fuse and Fast Fuse refill. Hopefully you live in the US. That's when I can send the prizes. Otherwise, I can send you a card through the mail. Yeah, that's always a good prize too. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, except just visit my my page. I don't have a little blurb like an image for that, but the group, I should say. Stamp Your Art Out group. Visit that group today so that you can watch the live that I do where I share the retired products list that's coming out at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. If you have a demonstrator or you are a demonstrator yourself, please shop from yourself or them. Otherwise, if you don't shop through somebody else, I invite you to visit my blog at stampyourartout.com, and you can find the shop button there and lots of other things. I'll be posting photos of the projects that I shared today, the measurements again, the links to the document or the PDF, depending on if you want to alter it yourself or not. It's just an easy, quick document. And so yeah, I'm going to share the document. Who cares, right? Also, the video. I'll post this video, the recording of it, onto that blog post. And that will be shared on Saturday, which is the 25th of April. And then next week, Wednesday, I wrote down 27th, but that sounds wrong to me. What's today's date? 29th. Next Wednesday is the 29th. So on the 29th, I'm going to be sharing that pretty birthday card that I want to show you. I think that's it. So yeah, you can shop for products at stampyourartout.com. And you'll want to be checking that out anyways, because the retiring list is going to go live at 1. And so in the store, the shop store, they're going to be, of course, including a section where you can shop for those retiring products. That's kind of the easiest way to look at what's being, what's leaving, okay? So I hope you join me. Stay safe. Yes, all of you, stay healthy and safe, please. And I hope you enjoyed the W fold. I don't think there's anything else. I'm ending like it in 40 minutes. That's crazy. No, it's good. Actually, my goal is always 30. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Stamp your art out, everyone. Bye-bye.